the airport? Sleeping in. Lucky for you, the lines at the Lincoln Airport are so short and our service is so fast. You won't need to sacrifice precious beauty sleep to get here hours before your flight. So, go ahead, sleep in. You deserve it, and choose the airport that helps you relax. LNK, make flying easy.
Today we celebrate all of our hard work, late nights, and the most craveable Raising Cane's chicken fingers and cane sauce that got you through it. So get out there and commemorate this moment with a grad plush puppy, because you've earned it. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Ahman Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Ahman Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Have an anniversary coming up? I've got you covered. Celebrate your love with the timeless elegance of jewelry. This anniversary, give the gift of sapphires, emeralds, rubies, or gold. Find the perfect piece that reflects the beauty and depth of your commitment. Whether it's your first anniversary or your 50th, surprise your loved one with a gem as beautiful and rare as she is. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light and variable winds. An afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 56. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds and a high near 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0, and bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska East sports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. It's ADAG and Rafferty. It's ADAG and Rafferty. And we got one lane holding it down over to the west of me right there. You know what? I gotta say
I cover an entire part of the compass.
No, I did not say that. See, you said that. I just said you're just to the west because you are to the west.
I am.
You're just to the west, and now you're like I don't know, northwest, because the body is trimming down, so it's got northwestern view. You're getting that V shape that's going on there.
That separation, the muscle separation.
It is. Hey, Raff, I asked Nick this morning. He was in there, in the control room. I said, "Hey, one lane, we got 3 guests." He didn't say a word. He just turned and looked at me and glared.
No, I did not.
And he flexed his trap at me, his right trap that's facing to the north. And I was like, "What's up with that, man?" And
I did not.
I don't know what it is.
AD, you came in and you were like, "Hey, where should I have him sit?" And I literally just turned to look at AD so I can have a face-to-face conversation.
But did you say a word right away?
Not right away, because I wanted to look you in the eyes and I wanted to be professional about this.
No, you tried to professionally intimidate me.
And he was like, "Nick, don't be flexing the broad shoulders at me." Even move the shoulders.
Raff, Swim. I think you nailed it the other day. The slimmer he's become, the more not only confident but cocky as well.
Yes.
And Raff, also a little bit a hint, just a smidge of arrogance that's there, and a little bit of bullying.
No.
Yes.
I haven't changed. I never changed.
Raff, when you were back, did you notice something different about Swim?
Of course, he's going to say yes.
No, I'm just asking hypothetically. Not even hypothetically. I'm just asking.
Raff won't be honest.
Well, when I was back, the first thing I noticed about Swim was, like you say, he got slimmer.
Yep.
His six pack was out.
Mm-hmm.
He was flexing constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Just a man among men is what I thought when I was
Preach
back.
on, my brother Raff. Preach on.
Just a legendary figure in the Lincoln Society. I mean, the state of Nebraska, I mean, they should be happy to have Nick Sainert.
No, they should not.
You know what, Raff? Nick is a candidate for a lot of things.
Oh, here we go.
But the number one thing he's a candidate for this morning is a stiff throat punch.
Yep.
Right to the throat.
Every day that ends in Y. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The only reason we didn't hear it yesterday is because AD wasn't here. He was in St. Louis.
Yes.
How was St. Louis?
St. Louis was great, man. All due seriousness. St. Louis was. I was actually in Collinsville, Illinois, which is just over the bridge, basically. Spoke for some educators and administrators there. Great time. Coming back last night was a little tricky.
Yep.
They got me off the plane, took me off the plane. When they get on the plane, Mr. Davis, please come to the front of the plane with your luggage in hand. I was like, man, what happened? But because they were so delayed, it was not weather or anything related. I was in St. Louis, was going to connect in Denver. And me and Raff were texting earlier in the day. I'm like, man, I don't want to go through Chicago because it's always a little iffy in Chicago, as you all know. Well, because there was a grounding in Denver because there was too much traffic, nothing weather related. But because the grounding was so long, I would have missed my connection in Denver.
Gotcha.
So that's hence why the young man, thank God he did, came on the plane and said, Mr. Davis, he came on. He goes, look, we got you another flight going through Midway. I was in Midway maybe 23 minutes before I boarded again and was on the plane. And gentlemen, Raff and Swim, you're going to be proud of me. If you build it, he will come.
I saw. You sent me a picture of you watching Field of Dreams.
Raff and Nick, I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to the producers and the creators and the actors of Field of Dreams That now is one of my favorite movies for a lot of reasons, which I'll get into later. And I've been processing it, and just a lot of different things in there. So I'll get into that later. But we got some guests. But Raff, real check before we get to our guests. What's the heat check looking like in Huntsville? Is there rain today? Because the silhouette on your face, it's always magical, first of all, with that sexy gray beard you got going on down there. Let me know. It looks like there's some sunshine out that window.
Yeah, there is. I think we might be out of rain until Thursday. I looked at the forecast. I mean, I don't want to get that excited, but I'm hoping that no rain until Thursday. Fingers crossed.
There you go. There you go. Swim, we've got excellent weather here in the capital city today. I mean, the birds were chirping this morning. I got about 3.5 hours of sleep because I was having dreams about Field of Dreams, which, pun intended. 64 degrees right now at 1040 O Street, and we have 3 guests. The high is 78 degrees, and we have Honey, we have Shark, and we have Jolene. Please don't take Nick away.
What is the deal? Well, what is with you this morning? We're even getting texts. People coming into my defense that says we're going in on Nick pretty hard this morning. It's today his birthday or something. It is not.
You know what?
It's just normal Friday. This is what I deal with on a daily basis.
You don't hear what Nick says to me off the air.
I'm the victim here.
See, you know what? That's class A narcissism right there.
Okay, whoa!
Causes the problem and denies the issues himself. He causes the problem. What did I do? That's the guy that sets a fire to something. I didn't have any match. He's got a lighter. He got a pocket full of matches in his pocket. So
I just had a lighter, not a match.
Light a match. Yeah, you lit the match and light it away and then walk away and say, what happened was. But nevertheless, Jolene, Honey, Shark.
I want you to say Jolene's name without singing it. Because I think is going to be very difficult for you.
Jolene.
Thank you.
Known Jolene for a long time since she was a little lad. Jolene, we got the roller derby girls in the house. We always enjoy having you all here because you do outstanding work, not only on the rink, but in the community as well. Ladies, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Jolene, talk to us. What's going on with roller derby right now? What's happening?
Oh, man. I'm going to let Honey take the lead on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this year it's our 20th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a big season coming up. We play over at the Icebox. 2 weeks from now is our first home game.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So we're going to be opening it up and celebrating Pride and bringing in some other community organizations that help to do LGBTQ work in the community.
Love it.
And we've got a doubleheader. So our A team, the Mad Maxines, are going to be taking on a team from Kansas. And our B team, the Road Warriors, will be taking on a team from South Dakota.
20 years.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. 20 years of knocking people out on the ring. I absolutely love that. Just rolling around and just, I like to get on the ring with Nick this morning.
Here it comes.
Okay?
Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that comment coming.
Catch him with a forearm shiver in the, I don't know, the clavicle.
I'll eat the penalty minutes if that means I get a knockout AD.
I think we could turn that into a fundraiser real quick for us. Yeah.
It wouldn't be much time because he'd be knocked out in about 2.5. So, there's it is. That's all, folks.
Don't forget to tip the waitress.
Honey, why did you get involved in roller derby?
Okay, well, I had moved here from California for school, and it was January, and there was this thing called an ice storm, which I didn't grow up with.
Oh, wow.
And so I was cooped up, and I grew up near a rink, so I knew that derby was a thing. And I was like, oh, maybe there's a roller derby team. Like, I didn't know anybody. I need some friends. And so I email, and right away someone was like, oh, we're actually doing recruitment right now. Do you have any prior experience, though? Because we're already 3 weeks into our 4-week recruitment. And I was like, yeah, did some rollerblading, did some speed skating. I could put on some skates and be okay. And I showed up, and there was 1 week left of this recruitment, and the head honcho was like, okay, come over here, put on these skates. And we started doing whips. Do you know what whips are?
No.
So think of like old roller derby days, right? There's a skater.
They would just fling her forward.
Putting their arm back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And grabs the arm and whips him forward.
Oh, wow.
And so this woman is teaching me how to do this. And she's like, okay, now step out of it. And I'm going into a turn. And I'm like, okay. And it was hooked. It was great.
You were hooked from that point on.
Yeah.
How long would it take for a couple of guys like myself, AD, and Raff to be able to just perform a couple of basic maneuvers?
Nick would probably do the best because he's young. Me and Raff are 51, so keep that in consideration.
I mean,
are we looking 2 weeks?
There's no age limit for roller derby first.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, AD. We can do it.
Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, shocker.
But It sounds fun though.
It is fun. And most people that join the sport don't have prior skating experience, so like everybody goes
Yeah.
through this training where they learn
Right.
how to do the safety maneuvers and you learn how to literally stand up on your skates
Yeah.
is the first thing. And so it's, it's a good confidence builder for a lot of people in the community.
All of you in the studio, besides myself, are too young to remember this, but Raff does. Raff, remember on Saturday mornings, roller derby would come on TV?
Oh yeah, ESPN, the early years.
ESPN, they would have roller derby
They
on.
still have it on ESPN, The Ocho.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching it in a sports bar last weekend.
It's awesome
Yeah.
stuff, isn't it?
It was like 10 a.m.
I love it. I
It's
love
incredible.
it. Shark, where are you from?
I grew up in South Florida, but I actually moved here from Mississippi last year.
So what part of South Florida?
So think the East Coast, so like Palm Beach, Broward. I went to University of Miami, so
Beautiful.
all up and down that.
Will not hold that against you against Miami. Yeah. I like that. You look at them, you're like, yeah, the U, bro. The U.
Yeah.
So Mississippi, what part of Mississippi did you live in?
Jackson.
Jackson. Fantastic. I got cousins in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, cool.
What brought you to Nebraska?
So my partner is a football coach, and his
Okay.
job brought us here. I never lived in the Midwest before.
Oh, wow.
And I actually was introduced to Derby in Mississippi. They had like a smaller league.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know anything about it. In fact, that boot camp that Honey's talking about,
Mhm.
there's someone showed me a flyer, and I showed up in jeans.
Oh.
So that's
Came
how
in-
I just thought I was
Came in the
gonna
workman
skate.
jeans. Like, I'm about to put in work.
So when I was there, and then it was about to be like March, they were about to start playing. So I was excited, but then I moved here. And then when I moved here, recruitment did not start for No Coast yet. So I spent most of 2024 just stalking the No Coast Instagram, waiting for like the recruitment period to
wow.
start, which was this last fall.
Mhm.
So this is my official first season playing.
I love it. I love it.
Are there nerves?
All the time.
Okay.
Because I still don't know everything that's going on.
You out there just rolling around and hitting people, right?
I think it wasn't until this last game where I was like, I think I actually like hit people and did some things instead of just like being in the way of
Okay,
the
we
rest
just
of my
did some
teammates.
things. That sounds like that was something that was not. It wasn't pleasant. Would you?
I hit some people and I did some things we can't talk about on the radio.
I have a very set of skills.
Statute limitations is until the end of the week.
So I'm going to go to you on this one, Jolene. Honey and Shark mentioned like where they're from, why they got started. And Jolene, you've been with us a number of times, but tell us again, refresh your listeners and those that may have not heard your story, Jolene. Why did you get started in roller derby? Because Jolene, I've known you a while, and you were the most laid back, quiet, sweet little Rose. And when I heard me and Jolene, I'm like, what y'all talking about? You talking about Kay over there? No, because you're like, hey, D, how are you? And then you go on the ring and you beat people to a pulp. What's up with that?
I don't know that I beat people to a pulp.
Sure you do.
Sure. Yeah, I do my best.
You heard that? I do my best.
Yeah, I grew up in Lincoln, so I actually watched roller derby at the Pershing back in the day. And that was like when I was in high school. And at the time, I like just missed the like cutoff to do junior derby. Junior derby started like the year after I turned 18. And then yeah, I just had no idea how to get involved, like moved on. I don't know. I was like, okay, roller derby was cool. And then in like 2021, I saw an Instagram post that they were doing recruitment. And I don't think I'd ever seen that before. I think it was 2021. And so I went, and my recruitment was like way different than I think previous years. They were like, here you go, you got some skates. And then I did a scrimmage with the Mad Maxines at the end of the season, which was like kind of terrifying, but I think it really locked in why I wanted to do it. Bully just like threw my body across the track at another skater, and I was like, I did something. I think. But yeah, and then I just got like hooked immediately. I've been on the board pretty much since I started, and that's been really great. And serving with just like the board of directors is we're all from different walks of life, different career backgrounds. It gives like a really great opportunity for people to grow into their leadership skills, as well as be competitive and stay active.
Love it. Raff, go ahead, my man.
Okay, I was going to ask you guys over the past years, you guys have played at the Ice Box, and then you played out on, oh man, what's the place out on 84th by Cornhusker? I'm forgetting the name of it.
LSF.
Yes. Yep, Lincoln Sports Foundation. I saw that yesterday in the Give to Lincoln that you guys are looking at maybe getting your own arena where you'll be able to play games at and do practices and stuff. Is there any? Do you guys have any like places in mind yet, or is it still in the thinking formation, or is that something that we have something to look forward to here in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so we are currently looking for a new year-round practice space. We are in the very like foundational level steps, but we're working with a commercial real estate agent and we're partnering with our juniors. We have a sister league, sibling league, a junior league. They're No Coast Junior Derby, and they're also looking for a year-round practice space. Yeah, we're looking for leads, but we're considering, all possibilities, partnering with like other roller sports in Lincoln. There's a Lincoln Roller Hockey League as well. Yeah.
And then you guys, I know it was Give to Lincoln yesterday and that ended, but if somebody was interested, maybe making a donation or working with you guys, who would they contact to go about doing that?
Yeah, they can reach out to our email, nocoastrollerderby@gmail.com, or we do have a donation link on our website at nocoastrollerderby.com.
nocoastrollerderby.com. I got one more question for each of you. I'm going to start with you, Shark, first. Why roller derby?
I never played any sport ever. And because I was always scared of like disappointing a team and injuries. But there's something about like doing something that's completely unexpected of me. I feel like anybody who'd watch me out there is like, this is not the same Chelsea the same Shark from high school.
That was your real
so
name.
I think that's but it's just very different for myself, and also just the community that we are building within and with other people outside of it. It's exciting, it's fast paced, and it just gives me what I call a third place. So you have friends at work or school, and you have friends or like community at home, but this is just another place to bond with other people on something that like a sport.
Common interest, you bet. I love it. Honey, what about you? Why roller derby?
Well, same as that third place, right? Having somewhere else to go that's not your home or school or work. But for me, it's just fun. I've always done sports, and moving out here, it was like I needed friends, wanted to do something where I was going to be active. And now some of my best friends in town are on the team, some people that I consider my family. So it's really lovely to have found this space.
I love that, especially both of you being so far from home as well. Jolene, last question for you. You've been doing this now this is going on year number 4, correct?
Yep.
Year number 4 right now. What are their expectations for this year?
For me, myself,
the entire team.
The entire team.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you with the people you have coming back, the people that you've brought on? What's your expectation? You don't have to throw a record or anything out there, but I mean that's okay too. But what do you expect from this year's team?
I mean, this year is for our Mad Maxines, it's kind of an interesting year because we don't have regional playoffs this year. They do it every other year. So I think just, building a foundation for next year. And then I've been playing with our Road Warriors this year. It's our B team. And most of our Road Warriors in 2021, I think, maybe 2022, the years are blurring together. It was like we're a brand new team. Like none of us really, maybe other than a handful, 3, had ever played roller derby before. So just really watching everyone grow and like not only physically, but roller derby is a really like strategic and mentally hard game. And so just watching people grow into that and just continue learning.
I love it. I love it. Folks, that website again. I don't want to mess it up.
nocoastrollerderby.com.
nocoastrollerderby.com. Shark, Honey, Kayleen, mean Jolene, not Kayleen, mean Jolene. Thank you so much. 20-year anniversary. And first match again is when?
June 7th at the Icebox, and we're doing an extra special deal for June 7th. All tickets are $3. That includes trackside seating, which is typically more expensive than GA. So
nocoastrollerderby.com. Folks, we'll be back with some more sports on this beautiful Friday. Maybe Nick won't be as feisty. We're going to discuss that off the air as well. We'll be right back. It's The Drive.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick a time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com. Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light and variable winds. Afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 56. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds and a high near 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching.
With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. We got the one lane.
Let's move on.
We got one lane in the house. I want to make a big shout out to the Roller Derby girls. Appreciate them for coming on. Me and Jolene, we appreciate Honey and Shark joining as well. Raff, how your doggies feeling, brother?
It was a long night. I stayed up the entire night. I'm a warrior, but no, it's been rough. For the people that don't know, Lolo's had a little bit. We had her annual checkup. She had a little bit of cancer show up. So we had surgery yesterday, and she's got a cone on her head, and she is not a happy camper. But we're surviving.
Yeah, man. But and she's had Lolo for how long, bro?
Almost 6 years.
Yeah, it's and the thing about it, man, just thoughts and prayers, she continues to heal as well, man. That's all you can do with that, is for sure, man. And people who don't have pets, and teach their own. Some people have them, some people don't. But man, when you have some pets, man, they become little furry family members. What I always call them, little furry family members, and so you appreciate them. So thoughts and prayers continue for that, Raff. I was thinking about little Lolo this morning and praying for little Lolo, and just whatever happens, just no pain. You know what I'm saying? That these things go away, and that she would heal and have many more years to cause some laughter and some fun. Elisa's dad, good morning. He goes, just wanted to stop in and say thank you for bringing joy to Lincoln and Husker Nation. I've had a pretty rough week, a couple of unexpected deaths and the young men in my life. It's always great to have community as greatest Husker family. Lisa's dad, man, our condolences, our deepest sympathies to you and those families impacted. It's those things are tough. That's all I can say. They're tough, and our deepest condolences to you on that, my friend. So thoughts and prayers go out to those families involved. Insightful dude. Nick and AD need to go play some knocker ball to get some of the hostility out they have for each other. You know what it's really called? Insightful dad. It's called love.
Well, there's no hostility.
It's called love.
Sometimes
love drives you to beat the smoke out of someone, or potential, like an occasional throat punch.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. At the end of the day, it'd be really awkward if somebody's just driving through the capital city and they're here for vacation. They're like, all right, I'm looking for a sports talk radio station. And they don't know the relationship that AD and I and Raff have. And so, maybe we probably could tone it back a little bit. But at the end of the day, this is who we are.
Yeah, then you have our texters. Eric said I would pay good money to see AD take Nick out.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem, is that AD is easily encouraged by the text line. He's easily, as we've experienced in the past, he's influential, or very easily influenced. But no, it's an exciting couple of days in sports. Man. And maybe we're going out of the rundown here, but obviously starting up today, you had the Women's College World Series start up yesterday, which I'm not sure if you guys saw. I know AD, you were ripping and running and traveling, but Tennessee goes down on a 3-run walk-off home run to the Oklahoma Sooners. Yes. The Oklahoma Sooners going for their 5th consecutive Women's College World Series national championship.
Okay, what you just said, Nick. Now, I was able to watch the highlights. I was able to watch the game, but was seeing the highlights of that. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to Tennessee because those girls played their tails off. I'm not one of those ones that's bad, who beats you. Depends on who it is who beats you. That's different. But Tennessee was a great team. Of course, Carla Pickney, she's a heck of a pitcher, one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. But Raff, as Nick mentioned, 5 straight.
Going for
for
5
it.
straight.
Exactly. Going for 5 straight. Bro, how insane is that, dude?
You call that a dynasty where I'm from. One thing about being up all night, I think I saw that home run about 6 times. It's Dave Roberts' niece is the one that hit the home run or the game-winning home run there. He's
Dave
the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
it's kind of in the DNA.
Yeah, it is. Well, and Dave Roberts obviously had himself an okay baseball career, right? Where he was a menace on the base paths. He was most famously brought in to pinch run back in the 2004 ALCS against the New York Yankees and was able to swipe a couple of bags. So that's where his playing career really is notable. Is him on the base paths, but now a pretty successful manager with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So yeah, the Women's College World Series last night in the Oregon UCLA game, by the way, a Big Ten conference matchup in the Women's College World Series is kind of funny between Oregon and UCLA.
Can you explain that call?
So what happened there was the catcher for UCLA in the top of the 7th inning, there was a ground ball to third base. The third baseman fielded it, threw it home, and they tagged the Oregon runner out at the plate. It would have been the game tying run. However, Oregon ends up challenging it, and they call the UCLA catcher for obstruction. That she wasn't that they didn't give her a clear path to be able to slide into home plate. And so you look at it, and that entire left foot is over the baseline. And so there's things that you can still do. Do you like that call in that juncture of the game? No, but you have to have the mentality of, would we call that back on February 29th when the regular season's going on? And if the answer is yes, then yeah, you probably need to call it in the Women's College World Series as well. Keep the rules the same, no matter whether you're playing in the regular season where it doesn't matter or it's not as important, or in the Women's College World Series. Some sort of consistency across the game is important. We talk about that in the NFL all the time, right? You just want consistency with roughing the passer calls and things like that. And the roughing the passer calls and things like that, they're not reviewable. And we always have the complaint also to where, well, if you watch it enough, you can always talk yourself into believing a certain ways, right? So there's that narrative out there as well. But ultimately, Oregon ended up tying the game in the top of the 7th inning based on the obstruction play. So,
it's we got the game at 4. And we were going to talk about this later, but
Yeah.
we just kind of go all over the place sometimes we get on there. I do want to mention this. So, like I said, I had plenty of time last night in airports, etc. But big shout out to Jordy Ball, the NFCA Player of the Year. Which was huge. You guys, there's not enough words to describe superlatives to describe Jordy Ball, the impact she's made. And Raff and Nick, this is something I forgot to mention earlier this week. Did you notice Nebraska stayed out and watched the celebration of Tennessee?
Yeah.
What does that remind you of? And I'm not saying there's one direct answer, but just what does that remind you of someone staying out there and watching it?
Well, it hasn't come to fruition with Stephon Diggs. Watching the Chiefs celebration it hasn't done anything for him, but it's him standing in Arrowhead off the side of the field, watching them celebrate the AFC Championship. But no, I think it's important. Like I think there's a lot. We talked about it, right? There's a lot of this team that's coming back for Nebraska softball to where you look around the parts of the infield, and Bella Bacon's going to be returning at first base, and Camazden's going to be out in the outfield, and you have Ava Cusack, who hit 20+ home runs this year. She's going to be still manning the ship at shortstop, and Jordy Ball obviously in the circle, and McGee's going to get another year under her belt in the circle. And so there's a lot of excitement for this team going forward. And so, yeah, I think there is something to be said about there's value in knowing and remembering how it feels, right? Nebraska was so close. And I think it's crazy for us to sit here 5 days later, or however many days it has been since they lost to Tennessee 1-0, and to really process everything. I think this is something that probably takes longer than just a few days. But Nebraska hasn't been back to a super regional since 2013. That was the year that they made the Women's College World Series. To get so close. They were able to knock off Tennessee in game 1. Game 2, all right, yep, chalk it up to Tennessee. But for a couple of the things to happen in game 3 the way they did, it's not saying you're okay with the loss, but man, it feels like you just missed out on a couple of opportunities that just happen in the game of baseball and softball, where the ball bounces funky
off of the backstop right back to the catcher, and you can't score on a wild pitch, where 9 times out of 10, despite however that ball bounces, you're able to get the extra base and things like that. The fact that things played out the way they did, it certainly hurts, right? But also I think there's value, Raff, in remembering, all right, this is how it felt. And a similar conversation to what we're having with baseball is with softball next year. You're going to have a large bulk of that team that has had postseason experience now under their belt, and not just Jordy Ball.
Raff, go ahead, because I'm gonna expound on that word it reminds me of. But go ahead, man.
Well, it reminds me. It takes me back, a little bit to the Florida State game. But I think the one thing is, you look at Jordy Ball, and I'm going to say this. I mean, she's the only one on that team that's won national championships. Now the team has seen championship mentality, championship habits. They've seen what the top of the top is. So I only expect this team to be better next year, and I expect the players around her to be to basically, you can see the way they adapted them this year, and I really think that will continue to move forward. Having Jordy there, I think it's always great to have somebody there with that's been to the top of the mountain, and I think that those players, they're going to continue to ride with her.
Nick, Raff, in my backpack, my national championship ring from '94.
You just have it sitting in the side pocket.
You've been on that '94 national championship ring, because there's a story about this right here. Because Raff, it's scary, Raff. I mean, your minds think alike. When we've been knowing each other so long and such good friends, both like brothers. When we lost in our freshman year, '92, Charlie Ward and those guys, was it, whatever the score was, 24-17, 4-7, whatever. What was that score in '92, Raff? The first year that got us
27-14.
27-14. All right. Tamarick Vanover, Ward Dunn, Charlie Ward, Derek Brooks. I can go on and on and on. But in '93, Nick, that game was and we knew it. And we let it slip away.
Yeah.
And I remember Turner Gill walking off with T. Frey. And T. Frey, we're besides ourselves. And I'm just sitting out there, uniform still clean, eating a hot dog, watching Florida State celebrate as my tears are wetting the soggy dog in my mouth. We were the agony of defeat is greater than the thrill of victory. The agony of defeat, Raff, is greater than the thrill of victory. There was not a dry eye in that locker room that I can recall. I'm not saying everybody was, but that I can recall. But I remember Tremaine Bell said, finish the thing next year. Tremaine, all those older guys, finish this next year. That whole winter conditioning in January was different. Now, we practice physical all the time, Swim, but it was different that year, Raff. January was different. And we posted that time on everything in the stadium, in the weight room, in the locker room, throughout the Hewitt Center. All of those things reminded us how close we were. So when we see Jordy Ball and company, watch that. It's almost like taking a pill that you hate to swallow, but I never want to freaking feel this way ever again. So all off season, whether you were a scout team guy like me or whether you were first team All-American, we're not losing again. Hence why when you watch the film of Coach Osborne, he says, let's get it done this time. Let's get it done this time. I'm going to, I kind of bet a little bit on the golf course, give or take. If I was a betting man, Jordy and company are going to be thinking about that moment down at Smoky Top all off season. Now I'm not saying being, Nostradamus saying they're going to win. I'm just going to say this. They're not going to feel that disgusting feeling and that agony of defeat ever again. That's why this ring, and Coach mentions this, means so much, because we know what it felt like not to get it done.
I think we're up against the clock here, but I think we need to. Thank you.
Oh, hello.
I think we need to continue this conversation maybe in the 10 o'clock hour when we talk Husker baseball, because there's so much. I think there's a fine line between remembering it and using it as motivation, but also your ability to flush it. I think there's a fine line. And so I think maybe we talk about that when we bring up Nebraska baseball and their matchup against the Oklahoma Sooners later today.
Folks, we'll be right back. We got some history to discuss. And at 10 o'clock, we got kind of a hodgepodge, but we're definitely going to talk about NU versus OU. 240th, I believe, meeting 250th overall, but that will take place at 4 p.m. on ESPN+. We're going to discuss that at the top of the hour. Stick with us. It's a drive.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today. Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center. Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light and variable winds. Afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 56. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds and a high near 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatchback nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. B,
that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back on this beautiful Friday morning. Keith Tinney texted in. I texted Keith this morning. That's KTZ. LOLAD is feeling it today. You know what, Keith? I think it's a lack of sleep is why I'm so hyped up this morning, because I have not slept much at all. But it'll work itself out. I'm definitely sleeping tomorrow. You will not see a 4 a.m. I made God's wake up text I do normally in the morning on social media. It'd be like maybe a 9-9.
See, here's what usually happens is I'll wake up about 5:30 and I'll see AD's story. So he sees that I'm up at that time. Then I go back to bed and I'm like, all right, back at 6:30.
Yeah, I make God's wake up list too, but I'm going back to bed.
I'm gonna give it another whirl.
Hey, does I was gonna ask with Kindle, is that Ford? I forgot what's his time for third or
it was like 3:14.
3:41.
3:41. So the number
3:41. Is that every single day of the week, or is that just during the work days?
I don't know. You have to ask Kendall. He's pretty consistent with.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's the same one every single day.
He's pretty consistent with 3:41 a.m. That's the time his father passed and transitioned. Me on the weekends, I usually don't get up at 4 on the weekends.
Yeah,
I try to get my sleep. Tomorrow morning, I will be up because got some things going on, but probably not 4. I'm gonna let my body get some rest, man. You know, you guys. I was talking to the audience about that yesterday too. You got some of these people that, and I'm not saying to each their own, that almost brag about how much they don't sleep. Oh, you can sleep when you die. Well, you can be dying a lot sooner without getting your sleep. Sleep is important. And there's some folks that, it's like a badge of honor to them. Yeah, I was up until 1 and I got up at 3:30 and kept going again. Well, I don't want my pilot last night grinding like that. I don't want my surgeon grinding like that.
We got a 3-hour and 45-minute flight from Miami to Omaha.
And I've slept 30 minutes.
I've slept 26 minutes in the last 48 hours. So
hey, South Beach goes hard, guys.
What's that?
South Beach goes hard.
Yeah.
South Beach.
We're going to put this baby on autopilot and see if it can really work.
You're going to go to sleep. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? So am I.
Yeah. Hopefully we give you a smooth ride so you can sleep and I can sleep.
We're all going night.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
Chris Leininger, what's up, brother? Known Chris since he was a kid. Good to see you, Chris. He goes, what also brings me a lot of excitement, talking about softball here, is the transfer portal because of what they brought in last year. And that's a great point.
Absolutely.
It's a great point, which we'll discuss too.
That's what's crazy. You look at the transfers, and obviously they're headlined by a couple of other ones, and we forget that Jordy was here 2 years ago, but hurt her ACL in the first game of the season down, I want to say in Mexico. And so when it's all said and done, though, Nebraska did utilize the transfer portal last year quite a bit. They did not attack high school recruiting 2 off seasons ago going into the 2024 season. They did so this year, though. So that tells you maybe they don't see the need to maybe attack the portal the same way they did last season. So, and that's fine, right? Like, you're going to have one more year of Jordy Ball. You're going to have one more year of Ava Kusek and a couple of the other notable players on that team. It's time to get some of those younger players in a spot to where 2 years from now, thinking about the future for Ron Revell's squad, that that they're going to be in a good spot.
Absolutely. Before I read into Jack Russell's segment, Nick, how much did give to Lincoln was raised for Matt Talbot?
Matt Talbot raised over $275,000, just like on Dumb and Dumber. Might want to hold on to that one. That's a pretty big one. $275,000 raised to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach. We can't thank you guys enough. The support from the city of Lincoln. Over 430 donations on the day. And so small, larger, it doesn't matter the size of the donation. We appreciate all the support, and we appreciate Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach for having us out there. And as I mentioned multiple times yesterday, just because even if you can't donate financially, they're in need of so many other things, blankets, even in the warm weather. They can't stress that enough, that people still need blankets despite it getting ready to be 85 degrees out today and this weekend. And so people still need blankets. And one other piece is if you want to donate canned food, one easy way to do it is canned chicken, canned tuna. I asked Lori Wellman, who you heard multiple times over the course of the day and over the last couple of weeks on the station, one of the executive directors for Matt Talbot Kitchen Outreach, asked her, what type of canned food is most important and why is canned food so important? Guys, it's protein, right? And when you're not getting enough substance, that Matt Talbot Kitchen Outreach really focuses on making sure they're getting enough carbs, they're getting enough protein, they're getting enough sugars, which are still important. They're making sure that they take care of their bodies as well as they can. An easy way to do that, just canned chicken, canned tuna, high protein type of canned foods, really, really valuable and rather inexpensive at times for other folks that are doing their weekly grocery shopping trips.
Raff, when me and Nick, you're spot on. When me and Nick went and toured it, and you asked her, I forget her name again, first name again, Tammy?
Lori.
Lori, when you asked her that, what are some things that we were in the pantry?
Yeah.
And she mentioned those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So, folks, again, thank you for opening your pocketbooks. And like Nick mentioned, if you can't open your pocketbook, man, bring canned foods, bring blankets, and just go down there. I would encourage you to go down and just see the place.
Yeah.
Just go see it.
It'll open your eyes. There were also 200 pairs of socks and 25 shoes donated while we were there yesterday. So once again, it's not just about the money. Obviously, the $275,000+ will certainly help because we talked about it, right? Just a couple $100 is what it takes for about 6 meals, or for $100, it's about 6 meals for the guests there at Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach. And things like IDs are something that they do. And as they're trying to get them back on their feet, you need IDs, you need birth certificates, you need identification. A lot of people don't have that when they're coming for help to Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach. And so things like that we don't even think about are very, very valuable to them.
Before we get to history, Nick, and you prompted this by what you said, one thing that she mentioned, I just love, she goes, if someone comes in intoxicated, they said, look, okay, you can't come here this way. How about tomorrow?
Yeah.
They don't say get the heck out of here, whatever. They say
don't come back.
Don't come back.
That's not what it is.
Come back. And you imagine the number of lives who've been transformed as a result of that. It's pretty cool.
There you go.
Well, Raff,
let's do history. It started at the 10 o'clock hour.
We'll do history when we come back. Because that was something that history was made because I think that was the most of their raised. So that was a good.
It was more than what they raised into 2024.
Absolutely. Folks, when we come back, we got Raff in Huntsville, me and Nick here at the Mothership. Come on down to the mill at 1040 O Street. Grab yourself some coffee or another beverage. We'll be right back. It's The Drive.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through June 3rd is $1 off per pack on Plum Creek chicken, $1 off all bacon, and 15% off cheese and crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here a roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome to The Drive with AD Raff and Ahman Green. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis.
Nebraska will win the national championship. The Cornhuskers beat Miami. It is history, 13-0. And bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
Former Arena Football League quarterback, former head coach of the Capital City Crush, and guru of Husker football history, Chris Raff.
25 straight wins for the Cornhuskers. One of the most dominating stretches in college football history.
We may have seen one of the best teams in the history of college football tonight.
12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach, Ahman Green.
Look at Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown.
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. And I tell you what, who helps us come back every time? That is, this segment is brought to you by Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Jack has been a well-respected representative since 1999. Protect your home, your vehicle, your family, or even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. To from the text line here. IQ Crew, yes, reminds me of the 93 football Huskers. After they lost to FSU, every time they practiced, they went to 118 or whatever time it was longer. Yeah, we had that posted all over the place, IQ Crew. Believe that, man.
And so let's dive back into that real quick here, just as we'll get to history on maybe the back end of this segment. I think there's this fine line, and you guys, especially UAD, can talk about it because you were a part of that, to where there's this fine line of embracing that and being like, you know what, we were so close and let's use this as motivation, but then also their ability to flush it and go, you know what, this is a new season. We have some new bodies in the locker room. We need to have this refresh mentality, right? Maybe learn from it, but don't dwell on it. Like that type of mentality. I think there's this fine line where you don't want to become so obsessed with it that in the regular season you overlook steps because you're kind of counting your chickens before they hatch.
Raff, go ahead, because I think that's a great point on it, Nick.
I think so. But a lot of it, I think, is with the position that you're in. Like Nebraska before this year, I don't think the talk of, a College World Series was out there. So I think that using that as fire, fuel on the fire, I think that's okay to do. But then I also think back, like there's other times where I don't think it works as well. And I'm going to go back. Just the one that comes to my mind is the 96 Broncos. They had a great season, got home field advantage, and got beat the first round by Jacksonville. That's one of those where you can't use that game as fire. You've almost got to throw that, like you said, Nick, you've got to flush that. You got to learn from it, but then you got to move on from it. And I just think it's a different scenario with this Nebraska softball team. I think that was the series that said, hey, we can compete with the nation's best. So I think it's going to end up being a positive for Nebraska.
You guys, I have a thing to where I've done with just in my own life. I call it the 4 R's. Nebraska did it. First of all, you want to remember. You want to remember it. You want to review what you did wrong, review what you did right. You release it, and then it's time for a reckoning. It's time for a reckoning, man. You remember. Yeah, we remember it. We remember how much it hurt. Remember how much it sucked. Remember how pissed off you were. You review what you did wrong and say, okay, we're going to do those. We're going to correct those. You remember also things. I think, you guys, it's easy to throw the baby out with the bathwater because you look at everything you did wrong in a game, in an inning, in a season. But you also got to review the things you did right and build upon those things. Then you release it because it's a new season, like you mentioned. Nick, it goes to your point.
Yeah.
And then it's time for a reckoning. And the reckoning happens by the things you do off season. And it's like Coach Osborne always say, man, games are won or empty seasons, empty stadiums, empty arenas, empty tracks. That's when the reckoning takes place. It ain't when you get back on the field again. You should have done that during the offseason. So it's going to be exciting to see this softball team, what they do. And you know what, guys? I'm going to kind of reverse the script a little bit and switch it to another sport. Granted, there's a lot of question marks, Raff, we have with the basketball team. But knowing with a month left in the regular season, how they were, at what point was it 7th seed, Nick, up to 6th seed or something like that? And Raff to relinquish all of that to not even making the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, they have not experienced the success that the women's softball team has. All right. However, the same rules apply. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it has the same. The key thing is if you're a coach is you want that motivation in the offseason, like you said, where these teams are formed or where they're built are in the offseason. And I think you go into these off seasons, the basketball team, they got the victory in Vegas. I know it's a different core of players, but at least in the offseason, you have something positive to start with. Softball team, I think, is the same way. I think you have something in the offseason to motivate these players, the extra conditioning, going that extra mile, knowing how close they were.
It's important to note because Nebraska softball has been in a spot the last couple of years, ultra successful. You're talking about the last 4 seasons. They've had over 30 wins in all 4 of those years. In 3 of those last 4 seasons, they've had over 36 wins in their season. And then in 2 of those 4, over 40 wins. I mean, we're talking about some real high level success. They've won a Big Ten title back a couple of years ago as well. And unfortunately for the Huskers, the Husker softball team, similar story to the Husker baseball squad, to where they've kind of been on the short end of a stick on where they've had to go for regionals. You remember in that 4-year span, they had to go down to Stillwater twice to face off against a top 10 team in the country in Oklahoma State. And a big reason why they kept going sent to Stillwater is frankly because of the geographical piece of it, right? The NCAA, when they look at baseball and softball regionals, and we'll see it today with the Huskers and in the Chapel Hill regional, where you look at, okay, the NCAA will try to essentially bus two of the teams and fly one of the teams in the regionals. And that's just how they want to do it. They want to try to cut down on cost as much as possible because the NCAA picks up the tab when it's the NCAA tournament. And so the committee would look at Nebraska softball and say, okay, well, you know what? Let's knock them for playing in the Big Ten tournament or Big Ten conference. Number one. Number two is where is a drivable regional for the Husker softball team? Stillwater. Because Oklahoma State was a top 10 team year after year, and they hosted the regional year after year. And in the Midwest, there just weren't a lot of other options that were drivable distance for the Huskers. And so Nebraska got sent to Stillwater in back-to-back years, and Oklahoma State did a really nice job of kind of creating that powerhouse. And obviously Ruby Malin, the former Nebraska prep star, is down there for Oklahoma State this year. But when you looked at it this year, Nebraska, they go down to Baton Rouge, but guess what? They were able to avoid playing LSU. Like they got the benefits of Southeast Louisiana upsetting LSU a couple of times and things like that. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, this is a team that now over the last 4 years has had some pretty consistent success. And they've graduated some really good players, most notably in the last 4 years, Billy Andrews, who was an All-American at shortstop, who hit over 20 home runs in her career in a single season and things like that. They've moved on from really good players. Courtney Wallace in the circle was really, really good. Maya Felder over at first base, really, really good. They've moved on from a lot of players, but they've reloaded instead of having to rebuild. And they did that last year in the offseason, like you said, Raff, through the transfer portal. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe they utilize the transfer portal to an extent, but not to the caliber and the volume that we saw last year, I think.
Well, it's going to be exciting if, like I said, what Nebraska does in the offseason. Jordy Ball and company, as we mentioned a few days ago, I believe it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, only 3 players they lose. 2 of them were the starting catcher. One was a backup catcher and utility player. So there's only 3 players we lose. So when it's going to be interesting to see. And also, guys, do we have players to entertain the portal themselves? I mean, that's something that's a reality.
And there's been a couple of reserve players, players that didn't play a whole lot this year that have entered the portal. Nebraska, there was a pitcher that entered the portal a couple of days ago while Nebraska was in the Baton Rouge regional. So things like that are expected and to come. But ultimately, like I think the biggest question mark is going to be, okay, what does the catcher position look like behind the backstop? You're not losing just one catcher, you're losing 2 in McKinley Maleka, but then obviously Ava Breadwell. So it's who is able to kind of fill the void of the backstop. They're bringing in a true freshman catcher. And you remember Ava Breadwell was the 2020, she was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So she was a 4-year starter. And Ava and Coach Rhonda Revelle were on the station yesterday morning on early break talking about how Ava was just steady behind the plate for the Huskers the last 4 years. And so we'll see what's next, right? But Jordy Ball obviously being in the circle helps out a lot. And there's a couple of places you have to replace the leadership of Abby Squire in the outfield as well. But when it's all said and done, there's a lot of excitement, and rightfully so, going into next season.
On the text line, we got from Henry Big Bank Hank. He says, Billy Andrews, proud co-worker of mine at Empire Netting in Fence.
Empire, friends of the station.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Gentlemen, to segue to football a little bit, there was an interesting comment by Georgia's head coach, Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart said that there are some high school players that are being paid $20K a month. Folks, not a year, not a quarter, $20K a month to uphold their commitment. He suggests if the recruit decommits, they're asked to repay the compensation. Text line, let us know your opinions. Raff, Nick. Raff, I'm going to start with you, man. What's your take on that, brother?
I guess it's a good idea, but like I said yesterday on Twitter, I'm like, what's going to be the expectation to pay it back? I mean, once that money goes into these, I mean, they're kids. Once it goes into these kids' pockets, you've got to think that they're going to want to spend it, have the coolest car on the high school campus. So I just don't know how they expect to get it paid back. I think like Nick talked about earlier, those IOUs. I think the kid might decommit from Georgia and be like, here's an IOU for 20 grand.
Hey, you might want to hold on to that one. Here's what I would take it a step further and go, okay, a lot of these high school guys are working out deals with agents as well. And these deals, just talking to head coaches there's a lot of conversations mostly that are done through their representation. And so whether that's their agent, whether that's their parents in this case, if it's an agent, well, guess what? Agents are taking a pretty healthy cut. So if of that amount per month, are the agents having to pay that back too? And so that's where like my mind wanders. If Raff is my agent and I'm committed to the University of Aaron Davis to play tight end, and they're paying me 15 grand a month, but I'm paying Raff, 30 or 20, whatever the rate is. I think you can't take more than 20. So it's 20%. So if I'm giving, Raff $3,000 a month, but after 2 months I decommit, I'm going to have to go to Raff and be like, hey man, I need that 6 G's back. I need that 6 grand back. But Raff is going, hey, this is a business. I got my commission. I don't need it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that's where my mind wanders of, if that is true, or Kirby Smart is talking about it, which Kirby is pretty strategic in what he talks about and how he comes across and saying things. If it's true, you're sitting there saying, does the player just lose out on that money that he has to pay the agent? Because we know it. Agents are going after guys in high school now and saying, hey, let me represent you when the time comes.
Well, think about this. Look back to Dylan Raiola. I always remember Dylan Raiola as a true freshman. When he came to that camp, he threw at night. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy is unreal, phenomenal talents. Could you imagine start paying him $20,000 as a freshman and then rolling it out? Like, say you're Ohio State and you're paying him $20,000 for 3 years. And then his senior year comes around, he decides to go to Georgia, then Nebraska. I mean, that's crazy money. I mean, 20,000 in itself is crazy money, but 20,000 over 3 years. Look at the past. Look at the quarterbacks. I forgot, was it USC that offered the 8th grader or a 6th grader or whatever it was? It's probably about 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Yep.
So if it was happening back then, I would go out on a limb and I'd say there's probably some junior high guys that are probably getting paid.
Well, hold on now. So I think it's important to note that especially in this day and age of college football recruiting, just because you get an offer doesn't mean it's committable. Like the value of an offer has, I think, trickled and dwindled the last 5-10 years.
But I'm saying if you commit to that university at that young of age.
Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's allowing an 8th grader to commit. Like, college football is different than college baseball. College baseball is a sport, and I know we keep going back to this. It is a sport to where they'll let guys commit as an 8th grader. There's a couple of Nebraska high school guys that committed as freshmen and 8th graders to a Division I university. But you kind of know, all right, they're not going to land at that university. There's too many things that can happen. Too many things can change. I would highly doubt that if I was a head football coach, there's not a chance on God's green earth that I'm going to 8th grade Aaron Davis and saying, hey, you can throw the ball better than any 8th grader I've ever seen. Come commit to Nebraska. Like, I don't know if any of those offers are committable. And that's where, they can't commit to unless it's obviously committable. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I would find it very hard to believe that there's committable offers. I don't know, Raff. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, no, I'm just saying the way that football is and the crazy stuff that we've heard in the past, to think that, I mean, is it happening? No one knows, but the way it is, the way teams are to get players and to get the best players, and there have been, you've seen 8th graders where you've been like, oh, this kid's going to be really good, so yeah. It just depends what kind of extent you're going to, you'd hope not. I wish, like we always talk about, but I wish that, it would have never seeped into the high schools the way it has, because this is just it's going to be a mess. And you're going to have a bunch of schools being like, hey, where's our money? And these kids are going to be like, yeah, not so much.
I'm going to read through some of these texts and we'll comment on them, some of them afterwards. But John in Cortland, good morning. He goes, no free lunches. Enough said. Grown-up business, parents. Old Dad 34, good morning to you. That's insane to me to pay high school kids that much, in my opinion. Cubsker, good morning. He goes, I think it's totally fine. How about, though, instead of doing that, say, hey, if you keep your commitment, we'll give you X amount, kind of like a signing bonus. Rod in South Lincoln, age 60, good morning to you. He goes, there needs to be contracts like in the pros. Big Bird, good morning to you, brother. He goes, are these kids signing contracts to keep their commitments? Eric, good morning, Eric. He goes, there is no more loyalty in college athletics. College coaches have been leaving at the drop of a dime. Let these kids get their money however they can. So there's,
well, because on that point, sorry to interrupt you, AD.
Yeah.
On that point, though, to Eric's text, it's a good point, because let's flip the script. Let's flip the other side of the coin and view it to where if the coach of a university says, hey, sorry, Raff, we don't want to take your commitment anymore. Well, it's not like they have to pay you the money back, but there's no negative effect on the university. So, it's one of those things where I just think it's very, very, it's a slippery slope, just like all of NIL is. And we've talked about that ad nauseum.
Raff, Nick, to Eric's point, and the one that sticks out to me the most, and there's a lot of them, and it's not picking on this guy. This is just the facts. The way that Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU, and other coaches have done it. So I'm just saying that was the one that, two prominent programs. That meeting was less than 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Rafferty, I'm out. I'm gone. Then he gets a Southern accent.
Got to fit in.
Rav, I don't, like I said, as much as I don't like the new landscape of athletics, coaches have been doing it for years, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, totally. Like Nick said, from the player's standpoint, if you can get the money, you got to go get it.
It's a whole market, Rav.
No one likes what's happening. However, if you're the player, you got to be just like the coach. You've got to get as bad as you want to say it, you've got to get the best offer. You're not messing with just like a few $1,000s. Some of these players, the top notch ones, of course. It's life-changing money. Look at Shedeur. He took like a $4 million pay cut this year to play in the NFL. You've got to get that money while you can.
Which it's fascinating, because on that point to NFL and NBA guys, and I can't go down the long list of them off the top of my head, because obviously we weren't planning on really diving into this, but we're seeing a lot at the college basketball level, to where guys are pulling out of the NBA draft and returning to college for another year of eligibility. Simply, maybe it's for the development side of things, but also there's the financial piece of it as well, to where we're seeing a lot of guys, Blackwell from Wisconsin, who's going to be one of the best players in the Big Ten Conference next year. He's returning to Wisconsin because there's going to be NIL opportunities there. And if you're in the NBA, if you're getting a low first round grade or even a mid 2 round grade, then you're sitting there saying, okay, you know what? The draft is only 2 rounds. There's not a whole lot of money in comparison to NIL. Let me phrase that. In comparison to NIL, there's not a whole lot of money in being a second round or a late second round, or maybe even an undrafted signee in the NBA draft. And so it's not like you can't get brand deals. Like, it's not like, one thing that I will say, like we always talk about with rookies, yeah, sure, sometimes the rookie contract isn't, life-changing money or, generational wealth, but a lot of times the sponsorship deals can be, where if you sign with Nike or you sign with Adidas or you sign with some brand, guess what? You have that connection with the university. Dylan Raiola is a great example. He's an Adidas athlete, right? Lexi Rodriguez, Adidas athlete. And it works out to their benefit, whether they're in college or whether they're in the professional leagues, because you can sign those brand deals and still get some crazy amounts of money at the college level, and maybe even improve your development, track as you wait for a draft grade that suits and is able to, tickle your fancy.
It's a conversation we're going to continually have, and it's going to get more interesting. And I think Troy Dan will maybe save that for next week, even when he talks about potential where that that house settlement where those funds could possibly go, how that's divided, et cetera. There's a lot that's horizon.
I'll say one thing good about the NIL is at least you're not going to have the Jamar Chase situations anymore where you're going to have a player sit out just until he's draft eligible, because all these players are like, no, I'm playing this year because I want to get that money.
Well, and we got about a minute and a half left in the segment here, but I think like one thing that I would also add in there to AD, you just made a point. I got to jog my memory here. Before Jamar Chase. I just lost it. Troy Daniels. Yes, yeah, that was it. Thank you. It was. We still have no idea how this is gonna unfold. We have no idea how the cookie is gonna crumble here, and we're just kind of just waiting around as spectators, not even the people that are in the buildings having to make these decisions and having to use this and in their daily lives. Like Nebraska women's basketball just hired elevated Amanda Hart to be their general manager. So now you have Amanda Hart as Nebraska women's basketball's general manager. You have Luca Virgilio, Nebraska men's basketball general manager. Obviously, Pat Stewart working for Husker football. Like you have all these GMs and the head coaches and all the assistants that are just kind of sitting around and waiting to see how the shoe drops, because nobody really knows how the cookie is going to crumble. We sat there a couple of months ago and said, yeah, you know what? We're going to move to a 105 on the roster limits. And it was almost as good as serious. And we thought that it was done and okay, washed our hands. The NCAA is going to approve it. And then sure enough, guess what? They don't approve it. And they said, you need to rework this to where it doesn't screw over the athletes as much. And so it's just, you can think one thing and these guys in these spaces can have the idea and the thoughts that stuff is going to pass or stuff is not going to pass. And this is the way you need to prep for it. But if anything showed us, using the roster limits as a conversation piece, is that you never know how the NCAA is going to settle and decide on something. So we're just kind of all sitting around. I'm thankful that I'm on this side of it. And I don't have to deal with it on a daily basis as part of my gig.
Those I'll say this before we go out, Raff and Nick, those GM jobs, I mean, those are very nice titles.
Yeah. Very lucrative.
Very lucrative.
Of course.
But they're going to earn every bit of that money in this crazy landscape that we're in, brother.
But also, like, as a high school coach, or not high school, as a head coach, excuse me, your job is going to be on the line based on the job that these guys do. You talk about a pressure cooker situation. Like, if to use a real world example, if Luca Virgilio, and we love Luca on the station, he's been on before with DP and them, but like if Luca can't get his job done to a successful piece and he and Fred aren't in sync, then Fred's got to make hard decisions, because that puts Fred's job and his future at Nebraska on the line. And so there's a trickle down effect of just with general managers and head coaches, they have to be in sync. And if they aren't, then you're going to know about it by the product on the field and how things are going internally.
I want to say this because I was just looking up that house thing, not the house thing, state versus house. Oklahoma about 5 days ago, and I think other schools will follow suit, started laying off athletic department staff in preparation of the new era of athletic revenue sharing. So, man, this thing is being felt more than just off the field.
It is. And you're also going to have universities that are choosing, and I'm a fan of this, is they're honoring everybody. Since there's no scholarship, they're paying scholarships for everybody on roster, right? Everybody that's here, they're getting the school paid for. And so we're seeing where they thought they were going to be cut because the roster limits that they thought were going to be put in place, they're honored, right? Yeah. Notre Dame's doing it. I'm sure Nebraska's going to fall in line if they haven't. Other schools across the country are doing it to where they're honoring scholarship commitments to these guys that initially they laid off.
Ogie, good morning to you, brother. He's got a good point. This is something that Mickey Joseph actually suggested a few months back. Ogie says the school switched to should pay it. And I think that's an interesting concept, man. I don't think it's interesting. I think it makes sense. Like, okay, if you're snatching our player, we ought to be compensated for that.
Yeah.
So there's so many factors that go into this. So it gives us, I guess, us talking heads a lot to discuss in 3 months. Folks, when we come back, we're going to preview the Nebraska versus OU baseball game that's starting here in just about 6 hours, give or take. They're in Chapel Hill. That's at 4 p.m. ESPN+. We're going to discuss when we come back. It's The Drive, 937 Ticket.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light and variable winds. Afternoon high near 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, a low around 56. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds and a high near 88. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln, the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatchmack, nachos, and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Right, folks, we are back for the 10:30 segment. I tell you what, I see a lot of vehicles out there. Some clean, some not so much, but I see a very clean one out there, Nick, with very good tinted windows. Who takes care of that?
Oh, well, tinted windows and so much more. That's our friends at Renew. This segment brought to you by our friends at Renew. Call or text Nate, Eric, or David, 402-833-3858, or you can visit Renew online at renewyourauto.com. Raff, what do they do best?
Absolutely everything.
That is correct. Body shop, ceramic coatings, window tinting, as we just mentioned, spray-in bed liners, paintless dent repair, rust proofing, and undercoating. They do it all. Give Nate, Eric, or David a text or a call today, 402-833-3858, or you can learn more online at renewyourauto.com and see what Renew can do for you. David, a very healthy David Freoff there. As he's basically, I told him the other day, so we've been working together through this weight loss transformation journey. And I told him, I said, David, where he's at right now, he's lost a lot more than I have. He's been much more diligent on this thing than I have. But David, I told him the other day, he told me where he was weighing at. And I said, David, that's exactly where I started. Like when we said, hey, okay, let's do this together. Let's work through this back in October of 2024, when we started this, I said, David, you're exactly where I started. So I said, look, this is, you are much more diligent. It's taken me, what is this, 7 months to get basically where I am now. So David, you can cut that time in half because you're just much more consistent and diligent than I am. And so David's incredible. Awesome friend.
I showed some family members DF's transformation. They were like, is that the same dude? I was like,
yeah, right.
I was like, yeah, that's the same guy. So, Nick, you and Swim both. Nick, you and Swim both.
Yeah. There it is.
Well, you technically are two different people. What you've done.
Have I lost a whole person yet?
You lost about a third grader.
A third grader.
What you and Swim have done is remarkable.
No,
remarkable.
It's a lot of fun. And you feel great. Guys, by the way, we should probably talk about the Ahman Green Foundation golf tournament that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
How about this one? Registration closes today. 2 days, your last day to sign up for the Ahman Green Foundation golf tournament. Myself, I'm going to be out there playing. Jake's going to be out there playing. There's going to be so many more people. Ahman Green, Niles Paul, Frankie London, and more former Huskers will be on site. I can also say publicly that our friends from League One Volleyball will be there. Jordan Larson is going to be in attendance. League One Volleyball, Love Omaha will be there as well. It's $140 per golfer, $560 for a foursome. All the proceeds go to the Nebraska Esports Foundation. And so once again, it's kind of a fundraiser there for the esports program at the University of Nebraska. Whole prizes, team prizes. And you're probably wondering, all right, Nick, sounds great. You're asking me to do this. Where are we playing? How about a pretty nice place in the city of Lincoln called Wilderness Ridge? And so I'm excited. I've never played Wilderness Ridge, so it's going to be probably me shooting about a 99 there. But it's going to be a good time. Yeah, your eyes are open. I've never played.
I did not realize
you got the hookup, AD, but I've never played.
There's been times I've asked you and you couldn't play.
Well, yeah, you asked me at like 11:30 in the day. I got things going on.
I still
so I'm excited. Oh gosh, you're fine. You're fine. So I'm excited. It's going to be a really good one. And the day of the 4-man scramble, June 9th, 11 a.m. at Wilderness Ridge. We're going to be out there broadcasting the entire day as well. It's going to be a really, really fun time out at Wilderness Ridge. So make sure you sign up today. You can go to the 93.7 The Ticket website. You can go on to our social media pages that the flyer is linked, and the link is there as well on the top of all of our pages and our website for you to sign up to the Ahman Green Foundation Golf Tournament.
That's going to be a great time, great event. Brad from Baldwin, good morning to you, brothers. Have a good weekend. Brad, you have a great weekend as well, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you that are tuning in. 4 p.m., gentlemen. The game is about to be on and popping at 4 p.m. there in Chapel Hill at Boschhammer Stadium there. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Boschhammer Stadium or Boschhammer Stadium?
Beats
like
me.
I have no idea. It's in
Beats me.
Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Nebraska 37-27 over 32-27 overall takes on Oklahoma 35-20. This is the 251st meeting between these two institutions of higher learning. Coach Will Bolt, of course, leads the Huskers, and you have Skip Johnson in its 8th year at Oklahoma. He has a 265-173 record there at OU. Gentlemen, what's your early predictions for this? You know, obviously two programs that are very familiar with each other in all sports as far as that goes. Obviously, when people think of OU Nebraska, you think about Nebraska and OU as far as football. Yeah. But, of course, our lineage and the history between these two goes a lot further than that. Raff, just initially, what did you think of the matchup?
Okay. Before that, I got to ask the baseball guru.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go with the pitcher that Oklahoma's going with, or would you go with your ace?
So just to provide context to the situation, Oklahoma's choosing to throw Malachi Witherspoon, who is essentially their number 2 guy, over his twin brother, Kyson Witherspoon. Kyson is going to be a top 10 overall Major League Baseball draft pick. Let's be honest, from Nebraska standpoint, you're thrilled. I think that I'm in no position to question a sitting Division I head baseball coach, but I want to get through game 1 first. I want to win game 1, and then you worry about the next day, and then you're going to put your best foot forward there. Maybe they obviously feel confident in throwing Malachi Witherspoon game 1. They feel like they can get to the winner's bracket with Malachi Witherspoon. Who knows? Maybe he comes out here and carves Nebraska up. I mean, that's a possibility in baseball. We saw it over the last couple of weeks to where Nebraska's just had some guys step up, whether it's been starting on the bump or out of the bullpen. But Nebraska, they're going to have to face an Oklahoma team that plays balanced baseball, similar style that Nebraska does, in a ballpark that I think fits Nebraska's strengths as well, which is more important there, Raff.
Raff, Nick, we'll get just both of you, Raff, first. You look at Malachi Witherspoon, he's 3-8 overall, 5.53 ERA. How important is it for Nebraska to jump out on these guys like they did against UCLA early on? Because they're not, because like you said, though, Nick, Malachi could come out and carve us up like, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the same way Jackson Brockett could do to Oklahoma as well.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, Raff, and I'm going to start with you first, and Nick, I want you, like I said, expound on this as well. Raff, how important will it be for Nebraska not to have quiet bats starting this game out this evening?
Oh, it's always important in any game. If you can come out and let the quicker you can get to the bullpen, I think that's the key to college baseball and pro baseball. If you can get to the bullpen where they got to start burning arms and you put them on the ropes, I think that's the key for Nebraska. Nebraska's just got to know now that last week was last week, this week is this week. You know, you can't rest on your laurels. So you got to push through, and this is a whole new tournament starting this weekend. So I'm excited to see, what Nebraska does. I think it'll be key for Nebraska, the pitching staff again, if they can be solid like they were. I mean, that's key. But yeah, if you can definitely jump out, especially, against Oklahoma, it's huge.
I think you guys are right. You look at what Nebraska did really well, not only in the Big Ten tournament, but in their last 5 series in the regular season that they came out of winners in. Is what do they do well for the most part? And most of the time, especially in the Big Ten tournament, they were able to score runs early. One of the bugaboos this year has been the offense, and it's been the consistency piece to where Nebraska baseball in the Big Ten tournament, you remember that game against Oregon? What did they do? They jumped on their guy early. They score a couple of runs in the early innings, and then they were able to stay strong enough defensively to where they were able to stretch Luke Broderick. Like you mentioned the bullpen, and there's so many angles, and it's like a layered onion here, guys, to where you pull back one of the layers, and one of the angles of conversation we can have is if Nebraska's able to get quality starts out of in today's game with Jackson Brockett or tomorrow, whoever they play with Ty Horn, then guess what? That sets your bullpen up for a pretty good feeling of getting through the rest of the regional. Nebraska was fortunate in the Big Ten tournament because they had at the time going into the final inning, a 7-1 lead over the Oregon Ducks. And I'm not saying you're playing with your food or you're surrendering runs, and that's okay to do. But what I'm getting at is you go in with the mentality of, okay, even if Oregon gets guys on base and maybe gets a couple of guys in to score, you're willing to trade outs for runs, right? Outs are so valuable in that conversation to where Luke Broderick, you're saying, okay, you know what? We can extend the leash a little bit with Luke Broderick. We can go ahead and send him out there for another inning of work so that we don't have to burn another arm, or we don't have to get another guy get up in the bullpen, because that's the other piece. A lot of people go, well, how many pitches did he pitch in the game? Well, you can pitch 30 in the game, but it also takes 50 to warm up. No, okay, maybe not 50, 25 to warm up. I mean, so there's additional weight and there's stress on that arm. If you get a guy up and moving in the bullpen to warm up and then bring him in and he's already 30 pitches into his warm up, and now it's like, okay, that's his first pitch of the game. So there's other factors in it to where if you're able to send a guy out there because you have some space and room to play with, then you feel good about what Nebraska can do in this regional. It starts today, though. And going back to your initial question, Raff, of would you start your ace, or are you okay with maybe risking it a little bit with your number 2 guy? Nebraska's kind of doing the same thing with Jackson Brockett. I think Ty Horn is kind of moved into that number 1 spot. Hasn't thrown on Fridays, but he kind of has moved into that number 1 spot in terms of on the depth chart for Nebraska. So Nebraska's kind of doing that, saving him for tomorrow. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, Nebraska's got to take care of business today with Jackson Brockett, who's done a really good job of managing his pitches, staying inside the strike zone, controlling the bases. And when you look at this regional, like I said, I think the field last year, Oklahoma State, it's a wiffle ball field. It was a launching pad. Nebraska, they had home runs last year with Gabe Swanson and Josh Caron, but not nearly to the level that the Florida Gators or Oklahoma State Cowboys could.
Right.
And that came back to hurt Nebraska a couple of times. This year, it's a larger field. That type of thing matters in regionals. And this is a really, really good regional for pitchers. And just hopefully Nebraska can do what they did back in 2021, where they kind of manufacture runs and we see that gritty over pretty approach come out.
That game is 4 p.m. again, folks. It's on ESPN Plus. I'll echo what Jake said this morning, early break. Find a place, an establishment to find it. Order if you'd like. But definitely find a place to cheer on the Huskers as they take on the Sooners at 4 p.m. And as always, it'll go Big Red for that. Folks, when we come back, we got the RGT attitude adjustment. Maybe a one line from one lane. We'll see. We'll be right back at Drive.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Spring Sports are here, and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
National Electrical Safety Month is held every May to raise awareness about the importance of staying safe around electricity. Visit les.com/safety for safety tips on power lines, tree trimming, storms, and so much more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first. And then here's what'll happen. There'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not two? Instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play. Because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to The Drive with AD, Raff, and Ahman Green on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, Raff, I am so throw punching Nick after the show, man.
Okay,
yeah,
but let's have a good take here. Jeez, what a great start to this segment.
Here's a good take, and this is for DF. This is for DF right here.
That's a great song.
Oh, we going to what is it, Nick?
Right down to Electric Avenue,
and then we what?
And they can take it higher.
I like how your voice went like this.
Well, I don't want to sing it and try to sing it because see, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. This is a moment of vulnerability. Here we go. Here comes a moment of vulnerability. Can we all be serious?
Okay.
Moment of vulnerability.
Okay.
I can't sing in my trying singing voice because then people can make fun of me. If I change my voice, I can use the fallback of, well, I wasn't really trying to sing. That's why it sounded badly.
So if you hit a bad golf shot, you just say I was just messing around?
No, because that's in a much smaller audience. This is a much larger audience. So I need a cop out. Here's my cop out to say, well, I was trying to change my voice to sing. That's why I didn't sound very good. But if I try to authentically sing, moment of vulnerability. We talked about this. Be serious,
no,
AD.
I'm serious. I'm very serious right now.
Oh, man. Anyway, thank you for being my sounding board.
Oh, I love
it. Anyway. Oh, man.
Raff, you know what, man? We're going to close the door on that subject of vulnerability. Raff, tell us about some doors, my man.
Well, we're proudly sponsored by Doors Plus. If your garage door needs maintenance, you need an entirely new garage door, give Cameron Honda's team a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus is locally owned and handles everything from residential or commercial garage doors, garage door openers, safety tune-ups, or custom design. Visit DoorsPlusLLC.com to learn more. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Cubsker said this earlier, and I think this would be a really bad idea. Cubsker says, can we move hold a hole to get a Nick shooting update at the golf tournament on June 9th to where AD can be on the call and give us his personal Hello, friends. Nick is up now, and here's his approach. Oh no, he shanked it left. Poor Nick. I've been pulling the irons recently. I don't know what's going on. I got to get that figured out. But and then
man.
Eric says we don't want to hear you sing anyway, Nick. And I wasn't offering to sing. But Eric, I thought we were making headway in this friendship.
The relationship.
I thought we were making headway. Here we are on a Friday. You said it earlier. Holy bleep, Nick and I see eye to eye on something. There's hope for you yet. Eric, I thought we were going somewhere, but now, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and that's net negative movement, and here we are. So
Raff, what you got for the RG team, my man?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to the Lincoln East golf team. They won the Class A state championship yesterday. Big shout out to the state champion, Max Moss. He defeated Miles Elgert in a playoff to win the gold medal. Miles got the silver. But when you both shoot 5 under, there are no losers. I mean, 5 under, that's what I'm talking about. So big congratulations to Max and Miles. I mean, to go 5 under in a state championship, that's huge. So Lincoln East, congratulations on your state championship. Max, congratulations. Miles, 5 under, nothing to be sad about there. So you guys are Raff's Good Take.
I love the Raff Good Take, Raff, and I echo those with Max and with Elgert. Well done. Those guys put in a ton of work. Big shout out to East. Also, Chad Beeman's son, Little Beeman, man, was part of that East championship team. So congrats to the Beeman family and the Elgert family and all the families from both Southeast and East, man, because to spar like that, that's what it's about, man. You love a spar match like that.
100%. What would you guys do if you shot 5 under in a round? In a round that actually meant something too. Like we can go out and we could get lucky and shoot 500, but it'd be like on a Sunday morning. Here we're in the state tournament where it actually means something, and you're able to shoot 5 under like you want to.
To me, it's just to be as young as those guys are and to duel like that. That's going to be something great for their mental Rolodex and confidence Rolodex, regardless of the outcome of it. Obviously, you won. That's what you want to do. But Miles knowing that he's able to, I've been there before. Yeah, right. I know. And Nick, what we're talking about, that's what's so frustrating about golf. When you can go out and you know you're capable of doing it, that thing also helps you later on too, because you know you can do
and we talk about at the professional level with golf, especially the mental fortitude that it takes to go out and win a tournament. Like the professionals talk about it all the time, where it's like, yeah, we can get to a point to where you're competing in top 10s, but to be able to be at the top of your game and actually win a tournament takes a different level of mental fortitude. And so it's pretty special there. What do you got for the AD's attitude adjustment? We got about a minute and a half left.
You know what? This goes from, again, the Field of Dreams last night. There was a line in there when he went into Mo's office, he's a doctor, and he goes, and Mo says this, and this, I literally drove in silence for like 5 minutes. He goes, we can be so close to our dreams and let them brush past us like a stranger in the crowd. At the time, we don't think much of it. We just don't recognize the most significant times and moments of our lives while they're happening. We just think there'll be other days. Sometimes that's the only day. Folks, I don't know what that is for you, and I'm going to expound more of this other times, but I'm just so blown away by that line. Oftentimes, we brush up against the things we want the most, and we're not cognizant of it because we're looking somewhere else. So think about those moments and relish them. Raff, take us away, my man.
And that was Archibald Moonlight Graham. Oh,
yes,
I had to
dude.
my
Watch the movie again, Raff. Nick, I appreciate you, brothers, man. That
There you
thing
go.
blew me away, man.
Step Brothers up next. No, I'm kidding.
A little different.
Yeah, that's the next movie. Yeah.
Raff, it's inspiring.
I would say there's life.
you can learn from.
Go ahead, Raffy. We got 20 seconds.
All right, everyone. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Be nice to each other. We will talk to you on Monday.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite.